Last week, the Kansas City Chiefs rumbled past the Los Angeles Raiders.
Here is Barry Ward. Play fake's beautiful. Play faked everybody. Touchdown is the signal.
Atlanta flew past the Saints in New Orleans.
Haynes makes the catch. Haynes into Saint territory. Michael Hayes, who was born and raised in New Orleans, has just scored a touchdown that may have taken the Saints out of the playoffs.
The Dallas Cowboys tamed the Bears in Chicago.
Harbaugh. Pass is picked off by Bates. That's the end of the Bears' season.
And Houston shot down the Jets in the Astrodome.
Third down and goal. Move to the end zone.
This week, the Atlanta Falcons are out for revenge in Washington.
He's open. He's got him. It's a foot race.
The Broncos will pull in the reins as they try to gallop past the Oilers.
Elway looks to Sewell on the right side. Now he scrambles. And now he goes it right to the back edge of the end zone to Steve Sewell.
The Chiefs look to stampede over the Bills for the second time this year. And Dallas feel like they'll have the last dance in Motown.
Play fake. Aikman. Roberts. Touchdown. Wide open.
Excellent. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the second round of the NFL playoffs. All of those teams you've just seen are just 2 victories away from football's ultimate dream, a chance to play in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, it was a dream I never fulfilled. But joining me tonight is a man that's experienced just about every emotion the NFL has to offer.
And that's it. The game is over. San Francisco has won Super Bowl 23. Teacher and pupil leave arm in arm.
Dick Hantak, the referee, is trying to get Sam back to the sideline, and folks, that's a coach who's reached the boiling point and popped it.
But I'm no doctor. I can't tell whether he's hurt or not. When he's down there...
I'll give you a clue. If he's down on every third down, you can get your MD tonight.
The agony and ecstasy of the NFL. Sam Wyche, the now former head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, has seen it all. Sam, welcome.
Thanks, Mick. Good to be here.
It seems weird saying the former head coach of the Bengals. I mean, ever since I remember almost, you've been out there. What happened?
Well, I've been, don't say that if it seems weird to you, but we had our postseason meeting with the owners of the Cincinnati Bengals, and they had some ideas that were different from mine, and at the conclusion of that meeting, it just seemed like it was better to separate it. I did not quit. I want my teammates in particular to know that, but I was relieved of my duties, so to speak, but they'll do fine under Dave Shula.
Well, now, you weren't jilted at the altar, as a certain man said last week on our program, but he felt jilted, and you might be going down to Tampa, I hear.
Well, I really had a great morning, yesterday morning, with Mr. C, Mr. Culverhouse, Hugh Culverhouse down with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it's a position that I really enjoy fulfilling. It is a place that's looking to win. They haven't been winning. But we had a visit all morning long. We walked away from it thinking that, at least me thinking, that I would be happy there. I hope he feels the same way.
Well, that's one job I hope you filled, but there's been another job filled, and that's Dan Hennings from down in San Diego. Bobby Ross, formerly at Georgia Tech, has been named as the new head coach of the Chargers. But let's get back to the playoffs. Earlier today, the Atlanta Falcons played the Washington Redskins at RFK Stadium. We'll have highlights of that game after our main match tonight. But unfortunately, our American network commentators don't know this, so they'll be constantly referring back to the result. So before we go to our main game, let's go to Gary for a report from the nation's capital.
Mick, it's the result everybody expected, a Washington Redskins victory, although these terrible conditions and 3 missed Chip Low-Miller field goals kept the score closer than it might have been for much of the game. The decisive score, ironically, came from a former Atlanta player, Gerald Riggs, running in the ball to make it 24-7 with 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Atlanta will reflect on a handful of turnovers that lost them the edge in this game. Washington will look forward to meeting the winner of the Lions-Cowboys game tomorrow for the NFC Championship. We'll have the highlights of this game later on in the programme, but for now, back to the studio.
Thanks, Gary. Well, Gary mentioned Gerald Riggs, an old teammate of mine when he was with the Falcons, and so I'm a little bit depressed, but the man here to my right was smiling at the conclusion of that game. Why?
Well, I'm just was happy to see you going through it, because why should I have all the misery this year? You know, I'm not a Jerry Glanville protege in terms of our social contact, but I do think he's a fine coach, and he certainly deserved to be in that ball game today.
Well, let's talk No more bad news. Let's get on to the good stuff. The AFC, you've coached in there for a long time. You played against the Oilers twice this year.
Right.
Played against the Broncos once, your first game of the season, I believe. You've looked at hundreds of hours of these tapes, of these teams on tape, so you know about them. So let's start with the Houston Oilers and probably their run-and-shoot offense.
Well, the run-and-shoot, that's what you're going to see today. That's all they have, goal line or whatever. Warren Moon, the 35-year-old quarterback of the Houston Oilers, is the key to it. Here he goes to Drew Hill, and the reason they're so tough is they get the ball to everybody on the field. Drew Hill's third in the National Football League. Hayward Jeffries right there catching a touchdown pass is second in total catches in the NFL. And Ernest Givens is seventh in the National Football League in overall catches. This is a team that works the defense over.
It's not a running team, is it?
It's not a running team, but they don't really need the running game because they've got this kind of an offense with a lot of read patterns down the field. They run only to keep you honest.
That's right. Now, defensively, people don't hear a lot about them because everyone focuses in on the run and shoot and Warren Moon. But this is a pretty good defensive team, isn't it?
It's a good defense. They've got a good defensive line that keep the pressure on them. Earlier this year, in Week 6, Denver played the Houston Oilers, and Houston sacked Denver 6 times, 3 of them coming from William Fuller. But then they've got the defensive backs like Bo Orlando that intercepts the ball here that are covering down the field, and they know that they're going to only have to cover for a short period of time because of the rush. Linebackers are a strong point. Al Smith going to the Pro Bowl. Lamar Latham, one of the fastest big men in the game, constantly put a lot of pressure, not only stopping the run, but defending the pass.
And then, fortunately, Childress is back, so D is going to be good for the Houston Oilers. When I think of the Denver Broncos, I played against him in college. I think he's absolutely the business. It's John Elway. Great player, isn't he?
John Elway is a great player. He went to Stanford University, one of those smart players coming out of school. But he directs everything this year. He's the fella calling the plays. Dan Reeves has handed it over to him, not only at the line of scrimmage, but coming off the huddle, but as you can see, even from the sideline. And one of the guys that he uses a lot is Gaston Green, one of the fastest players in the National Football League, a former track man that has developed and become a real football player.
And the receivers, I mean, we used to hear all about 3 of theirs, the Amigos, and they're now gone, and they're not playing as well offensively as far as throwing the ball, but they're running it so well, perhaps they don't need to. But now, defensively, they've got a coach that I always think of as a Houston Oiler man, but he's done a great job, hasn't he? He's
done a great job, and Wade Phillips is his name. His dad, Bum Phillips, of course, made history and made a reputation for himself, but Wade is making a reputation for himself just as a result of being a good football coach, not because he's the son of Bum. But this is a team...
Son of Bum, I love
Son of Bum. Son of Bum. I didn't say son of a bum. Let's be careful.
Well, let's get on to his defense. And
all right.
Mecklenburg always comes to mind, doesn't he?
Carl Mecklenburg is the guy that plays linebacker and wears number 77. So you don't know whether he's a defensive lineman, a linebacker, or just a specialist as a pass rusher. But you've got to account for him. We played in Mile High Stadium, the Cincinnati Bengals did, on the opening day of the season this year. And he's the one defensive player you have to know where he is. You've got to account for him on every snap.
And then in the backfield, you've got 2 pretty good safeties, haven't you, Smith and Atwater?
Smith and Atwater, and I think Steve Atwater may be the key to the future playoff hopes for the Denver Broncos this year, and that is that he's the last line of defense. He's the safety that stops that final touchdown run. And a couple of years ago against the 49ers, he was whipped a few times in that 55-point barrage that 49ers put on Denver in Super Bowl.
And he's learned since then, hasn't he?
Oh, he's learned. You know, veteran players become better because they get an earlier start. They may not run any faster, but they get a head start of where they're going.
And then I've got 2 other great players in Kroll, their rookie, and Fletcher, who's leading the AFC in sacks. So a whole lot going on for both defenses. I never thought I was going to say this, but we might see a low-scoring game between the Denver Broncos and the Houston Oilers. To talk a little bit more about what to expect in the game, we'll be back after this break. Welcome back, everybody. I just want to say before we get into the game is Americans take a lot of commercials. So when we go away or it comes to us in the studio, you're not missing any action. It's just that they're trying to sell the product and pay the bill to the NFL. But let's get back to Sam. Sam, you've been in the locker room a lot. You've played both these teams. What do you think the coaches are now saying to the players that they need to get done today to win?
Well, I played ball with Jack Pardee with the Washington Redskins, and I went to school right after Dan Reeves went to the University of South Carolina, and I know a lot about these guys. But I think that both of these coaches, and almost all coaches at this point in the season, come in and say, look, we got here doing one thing, and that was whatever, you know, whatever their style happens to be. Let's don't change anything. Don't try to be something you're not today. Don't try to play over your head. Play the exact same game plan that you played last week and all the weeks that got us to this point. And then you look at each other and you say, now look, don't let that guy down, don't let that guy down, don't let me down, I won't let you down. and you try to build up that pride just before you knock the lockers down as you hit the field.
So how would you surmise the Denver Broncos? Let's start with them. What have they done well that they have to do today?
Well, they stayed in the ball games. Defensively, they haven't had to chase a lead. Offensively, they haven't had to chase a lead because their defense has kept them in the ball game. I think that they've got to not only run the ball on first down, second down, as well as pass the ball, mix it up, in other words. Don't give the Houston Oilers a chance to come after them with a blitz. Houston likes to blitz, and when they do it, they're pretty effective. On the other side of the ball, the Houston Oilers are going to do the run and shoot. They're not going to change anything, and the run and shoot is an option-type offense. After the ball is snapped, everyone is reading the defense and reacting to what the defense does. Defensively for Houston, I think that they are going to turn William Fuller loose. They're going to, of course, have a lot of defensive backs in the game. It'll be interesting to see how many defensive backs they put in the game and how many linebackers. Linebackers being the bigger guys can, of course, stop up around the line of scrimmage, but the defensive backs cover those fast, speedy wide receivers.
Well, perhaps later on in the program we'll have a chance to go to the blackboard and get your expertise. Talking to the coaches this week, they were saying to me that they've adapted their offense to their defense. What does that mean?
Well, I think, you know, if you've got a defense that can't hold them, your offense slows down. You want to take a few more seconds off the clock. Remember, in the American football, there's a 45-second clock. From the time the previous tackle's made, there's 45 seconds for the quarterback to instruct everybody on the field what to do, go to the line of scrimmage, give them the snap count, or tell them when to bring the ball up in exchange from center to quarterback. All of that's done in 45 seconds. Well, you can up the tempo if you've got a defense you know will get you the ball back. And I think both these teams have confidence in their defense, and they're going to be able to operate at will offensively.
And then for the Houston Oilers, I know you've got some thoughts on why they've not been quite as prolific in the last 6 weeks with their run and shoot.
You know, well, they started 7-1 the first half of the season. The last half of the season, they've been 4-4. So obviously they're not playing their best ball at this point. And they're playing outdoors, all the things that they say the Houston Oilers can't do. I don't know the reason other than the fact that I think this team is such a run and shoot, gun, they may burn out just at the end.
All right, I want a prediction. Who's going to win and why?
I'm going to go with the Denver team because they're the home team. I think at this point they're just playing a little better than Houston. Both of them good teams, though.
Well, I think I'm going to go with the Houston Oilers. I like Warren Moon. I think their offense is so prolific. I don't know if Denver can stop them. I know they've done well against the pass, but I think Houston Oilers, it's their time. They've got a lot of people that are 30 years old. They've got 11 players 30 years old or over. So it's going to be a good game, but you know who's going with who. And now we're going to Mile High Stadium. This is live football. You've got Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen as your American match commentators. David Treadwell is kicking off for the Broncos.
And we are underway in Denver, high and short, and taken at the 17-yard line by Pat Coleman. And he returns near the 30-yard line. We'll take a look at the Houston offense to set it up. That offensive line of Maggs, Munchak, Matthews, Dawson, and Williams. Backs and receivers. The run and shoot, this is what we're going to see all day long, featuring the Fab Four. Haywood Jeffries, Drew Hill, Ernest Gibbons, and Curtis Duncan. Oilers from their own 30-yard line, first down. Drew Hill in motion. Moon goes deep. Jeffries has it inside the 25 to the 21-yard line. 50 yards on the opening play.
Charlie, this is exactly what Warren Moon was excited about. He said that they were going to come with some inside blitzes and they were going to go man for man. And finally this year, he was going to be able to go up top. It's a straight streak route by Jeffries, and he catches it for a 50-yard gain, picking on Charles Dimry, somebody who's not normally in the lineup as a result of the injury to Wyman Henderson.
First down, Houston at the Denver 21-yard line. Drew Hill in motion again. Moon looks right. Cox, plenty of time. End zone. Incomplete. Drew Hill, the intended receiver. It will be second down back at the 21-yard line.
One of the things we're going to be exploring throughout the game is the fact that they had started in that three-man front. And as you can see there, he had plenty of time to throw. That's a nice throw. And Drew, I know, feels like he could have come up with that one.
Let's check in with the Denver defense. They call it the Tiger. It's a form of the nickel. Two linebackers are actually down line with us, Fletcher and Mecklenburg. Cragen is in there as the nose tackle. Brooks and Kroll are the other two. And then in the secondary, As you can see, 6 defensive backs with Lilo Lang replacing the injured Wyman Henderson. And that means that Dimry will move out on the corner. Lang will move inside. Here is the handoff to Lorenzo White. And a gain of 6 to the 15-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 as Michael Brooks makes the tackle.
Well, Michael Brooks has been the leading tackler for the Denver Broncos this year, 153 tackles. And I think that Wade Phillips was concerned with the fact that Michael Brooks might not get into this ball game because of the fact that Houston is obviously a predominantly passing team. However, because they're going with a 3-2 set, they have both he and Mike Kroll in as inside linebackers.
Lorenzo White, the remaining back for the Oilers' 3rd and 4 opening drive of the ball game. Moon, end zone diving reception, touchdown. Haywood Jeffries, 15 yards.
Well, pretty soon Haywood Jeffries is going to get excited. I don't know when. But that was some kind of catch he made on the inside. And once again, Warren Moon right on the mark with the 3 throws he's had thus far. My guess is the flag in the end zone is going to be because he celebrated a little bit too much.
We have unsportsmanlike conduct, illegal celebration, 84 on the offense. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
My guess is that he created a little bit too much wind when he was waving his arms. I don't understand that. In a game of this magnitude, it would have to be something like a double backflip to call that, but Houston's going to have to put up with the 5-yard penalty. I mentioned Warren Moon. The second throw was right on the mark to Hill as well, and this is exactly what Wade Phillips feared, is that Warren Moon would be home.
Del Greco with the extra point. 70 yards in 4 plays, 1:46.
Haywood Jeffries, the century pass catcher, 100 catches this year, and that's why right there. Warren Moon puts it right in his hands, spikes. Take a look at how excited he is. The ref says that's too much, but my guess is Jeffries doesn't care. We're up 7-zip.
On the return, here is Alton Montgomery across the 25 to the 26-yard line. So the Broncos now down 7-0, and their first opportunity on offense. And that offensive line, there is a change at center. Keith Karts is out with a thigh injury. Dave Waddell has replaced him. Backs and receivers, of course, led by John Elway. When they go to their 3 wide, they call it their 11. Then Sewell comes out, Vance Johnson comes in. Today they want to keep Gaston Green in for the threat of the run. And Elway comes out throwing. Flag is down. Elway gets the pass on to Clarence Kay, the tight end, just as he was going down. And we'll go back and check out the flags.
Well, they called a tripping there. Ray Childress is off to a good start. We had a chance to see OJ at the beginning of the telecast mention that the heart and soul of the Houston Oilers has been that man right there. 16 tackles for loss on the season for Ray Childress. He gets tripped, and the referee saw it.
We talked about the opening drive of the Houston Oilers. Well, the Broncos have allowed only 4 first-quarter touchdowns all regular season.
Tripping, 63 offense. Still first down.
On Sean Farrell.
Sean Farrell has not played much of the season. He has been injured, and so he really only has about 2 or 3 opportunities to have played thus far. You can see right there the leg comes around. He nails Lee Williams, and the official right on top of it. And what is that jumping on top of it? Boy, oh boy.
So the ball back at the 16-yard line. It is first down and 20. And here is Gaston Green. Green, one of the truly great stories of this football season. He's going to pick up only a yard. It'll be second down and 19. That Houston defense, the front 7 with Lee Williams replacing Doug Smith, who is out with that rib injury. And then we'll go to their secondary. Dishman, Johnson, McDowell, and Bo Orlando. They go to a spider, and in that formation, Darrell Lewis and Steve Jackson come in. That is a form of the nickel that we will see. They call it the spider. They like to catch them within the web. Elway to throw. This is a screen as he sets up deep. He wanted to set up a middle screen. He dives across the 30 to the 32-yard line. It's going to be third down and about 3 for the first down, maybe 4.
Well, the defensive line for the Houston Oilers forces them out. You can see Sean Jones going against Harvey Salem, who comes in specifically to pass block. They push him out of the pocket. Now, Elway does a nice job of getting the run. But in all honesty, I think Jim Eddy has to be happy with what he sees there in the pass rush, because they're just not giving Elway any time thus far to throw the ball.
And there is Jim Eddy, defensive coordinator of the Oilers. We talked to him last night. I said, are you excited? He said, I've never been so pumped up in my life.
Yeah, I was ready to put some pads on him.
Sewell and Rivers are in, and the inside handoff is to the rookie Reggie Rivers, the free agent, and he will pick up the first down. A flag. We have a flag dropped at the 43-yard line. I was about to say pick up the first down, depending upon the mark, because it is right at the marker.
Well, this is foolish. After the play, Ricky Nattiel and Richard Johnson got into a little bit of an argument, and I think Nattiel may have poked him in the face or something, or said something the official didn't like, because you can see Richard Johnson was jumping up and down, pointing the other direction.
And this is the point of the season. You can't afford to make those kind of mistakes.
No, that's really a mental error on Ricky's part. He can't do that.
The loser goes home for the rest of the holidays.
They're waiting to see the name, and it is going to be a little bit short. Yeah. So my guess is that Houston's going to refuse the penalty.
Yes, make it fourth down.
You know, when we talked with Vance Johnson yesterday, he mentioned that there was going to be a lot of trash talking out there. But you know, in a game of this magnitude, as you mentioned, there's just no way that you can get that involved in it to where you cost your team 15 yards.
Dan Reeves, he's used to being here. This is his 41st postseason game as a player or as a coach.
Well, you know, it's interesting to me that this man has gone through 20.
84 offense. We will penalize 15 yards, and it's fourth down.
Dead ball foul. It was after the down had been blown dead.
Well, that's interesting.
Play had been blown dead.
That's certainly a gift for the Houston Oilers there, because that's going to give them much better field position.
So Mike Horan will be kicking to Pat Coleman.
Coming back to Dan Reeves, he was my running back coach my first year in the league in Dallas in 1978, and it always amazes me to realize that that's 27 straight training camps that man has been to. Man, oh man.
Houston leading 7-0. The temperature 35 degrees, no wind. Here's the pressure. He gets it off. And it will go out of bounds just outside the 35 mark at the 37-yard line. Back in a moment.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the AFC Divisional Championship game at Mile High Stadium in Denver. And as Sam Wyche said, Atwater could be the man to watch, and Moon's taken advantage. Let's go back to our American match commentators.
Houston, first down, their own 37-yard line, second offensive possession. They lead 7-0. Moon rolls out left. He is going to keep, has the first down and about 4 or 5 more yards. 48-yard line of Denver. Brooks was chasing him. He scrambles for 15.
Again, give credit to the offensive line of the Houston Oilers. Warren Moon in the run and shoot takes his 3 steps, and he cuts off half the field. He's going right, but they give him enough time to come back and go to the left, and there's nobody there. And Warren Moon at age 35, I don't know what his 40 time is, but it was plenty enough here to get the first down.
Remember earlier in the season when we talked with him, he had talked to his mother, Pat, in Los Angeles. Said, had given him some advice. That advice was don't throw into double coverage. Last night he said she didn't give him advice for this game, but she was so nervous watching the Jet game that she couldn't enjoy it. They taped it, she watched it that night, and she liked it the second time. The touchdown scoring, Haywood Jeffries with the reception.
One of the things that the Houston Oilers do is that they alter your defense. Here's the normal starting lineup for the Denver Broncos. Warren Powers out. Ron Holmes out. Wyman Henderson, due to injury, is out. Mike Kroll has to go to inside linebacker. Carl Mecklenburg goes to end. Simon Fletcher goes to end. And the result of that is that some of the best people that they want to have out there on the field are not there. And they have some mismatches in the middle, particularly with Dimry and Robbins, number 48, who is a strong safety by trade.
We had an official's timeout. One of the hand warmers had fallen off of one of the Denver Broncos. Haywood Jeffrey scoring the touchdown, has 3 receptions, 72 yards already, as Lorenzo White will pick up the first down as he goes to the 37-yard line. He needed 2, and he got 3. Steve Atwater, who is going to the Pro Bowl, along with his other safety, Dennis Smith, for the Denver Broncos, makes the tackle.
Well, Wade Phillips can't be the happiest man right now. Warren Moon has started off hot, and even when they had the good coverage, he goes with a 15-yard run, and now it appears that they're able to integrate the run as well. They definitely have Denver's defense on its heels.
Mecklenburg with a stinger comes out. Ron Holmes replaces him at the defensive right end. First down, Houston, Denver 37-yard line. Little play action fake. Moon has lots of time, throws underneath the coverage to Gibbons. It is incomplete.
Now at the last minute, the official is going to call holding on Mike Munchak. Mike Kroll came with a good rush and almost reached out and got Warren Moon, but apparently Munchak had a handful of jersey.
Flag drop back at the 48-yard line.
Holding, 63, offense. Still first down.
Mike Munchak, for the 7th time, was named to the Pro Bowl for the Houston Oilers. In fact, they feel that this is going to be their next Hall of Famer, the former Penn Stater. But he's got his hands full with Mike Kroll, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now, this is what the official sees. See the left hand right there in the jersey? He pushes him away, and actually, if he was going to call holding, it should have been about 4 steps earlier when he had that handful of 5 in number 51.
Last year, Houston, the most penalized team in the NFL. This past season, they really cut it down. This is a screen, and it was saturated by the Broncos. And so Moon was in reality simply throwing it away. It'll be second down and 20 at the 47-yard line. Good defensive play by the Denver Broncos.
Again, the screen immediately. I was going to say, Charlie, again, in the judgment of the officials, you're going to see Lorenzo White off to the right of your screen. He is in the vicinity of this throw, but clearly you can see that he's throwing that ball away. And if the official feels that way, he can certainly make the call, but in this case, he opted not to.
That is the referee's call only. He is always behind the quarterback, and he reads that through the quarterback. Second down and 20. Here is White, and Lorenzo to the 41-yard line. He'll pick up 6 yards on the play. Michael Brooks and Tyrone Braxton on the tackle.
Again, you might say to yourself, Warren, how come you're not throwing the ball downfield when you have so much yardage to pick up? In Mile High Stadium, with the thinner air, the range of Aldo Greco is going to be that much longer. And so even though this seems like somewhat of a no-brainer play, now if they can get another 6 or 7 yards, even if they don't get the first down, they could still be in field goal position.
Mecklenburg is back in on defense. Third down and 14. The pass is complete to Gibbons. Gibbons has the first down at the 15-yard line, a gain of 26 on the play.
One of the things that Warren Moon does as well as any quarterback in the National Football League is he sees the matchups and he is going to find the weak points. Lilo Lang may be a competent cornerback, but he has not had the opportunity this season. This is his first start, and he's going against somebody as competent as Ernest Gibbons, who last week against the Jets had 2 big touchdown catches.
With the Fab Four of Houston and the run and shoot, they are known more for being successful indoors on the turf. When we talked to Warren Moon yesterday, he said this is fast grass.
And that makes a big difference where the Fab Four is concerned because of the timing of the routes.
Flag is down. Gibbons has it at the 6, back to the 10. But we'll check out the 2 flags. Michael Brooks with the tackle. And so penalties thwarting the Oilers on this, their second offensive drive. Houston leads it by a score of 7-0 with 7:11, two lucky numbers time remaining.
Offense, 2 men moving. Still first down.
One of the impressive things, strange enough, Charlie, about Ernest Givens is the fact that at 5'9", 172, he catches a lot of his balls in the middle of the field. And right there you can see he does not lack courage when it comes to coming across the middle.
He has that shield because that broken nose he had a few weeks ago. It kind of curly-Q, so I can't even breathe through the left side of it. He's going to have plastic surgery after the season is over. Here is Wyche. Has 4 to the 16. It'll be second down and 11. You were talking about, well, you were talking for a moment about the thin air here at Mile High Stadium. That, of course, everybody has talked about for years. And Dan Reeves, the head coach of Denver, has a unique look.
He says he knows the air is thin on Saturdays, more so even than Sundays. It gets really thin for wide receivers that have to run a lot. Boy, was that tongue-in-cheek or what? It's amazing some of the little subtle psych jobs that these coaches do on one another, isn't it?
Warren Moon, 5 of 7, 104 yards and a touchdown. The Oilers dominating the early going. Givens at the 9, and he is brought down after a gain of 7 by Tyrone Braxton.
Notice there at the end of the play, Ernest Givens knew where that was coming from. He knew it was a zone defense. He knew he was going to get hit. He eases up and takes the shot. Here makes it very interesting coming on third down. The Oilers tops in the AFC at converting. A lot of that due to the fact that their third down offense is on the field every single down. Right. And the Broncos leading the AFC in preventing. That's a very impressive 31.1%.
Ernest Givens, when we talked to him yesterday, also said in the playoffs, I like to take it up just one more notch. Houston 2 of 2 on third down conversions in the ball game. Moon looking to the end zone. All alone is Drew Hill at age 35. Planning to retire next year. He may stay around for a few more years.
Well, this is the savvy of the veteran quarterback. The Broncos come with the blitz from the outside. Houston is able to pick it up, and once again, it's a mismatch. Dennis Smith is certainly an all-pro safety. But take a look. There you can see the blitz coming from the corner. Dennis Smith over. Oh, my. Guesses to the outside. He was wrong. Hill to the inside. 6 points for the Oilers. Easy money.
And the extra point is good. And Houston moves out in front. 14-0 with 5:16 left to go in the first.
The man you're looking at right there, Drew Hill, 4,000-yard seasons past the age of 30. He said he's going to retire next year. Why?
That's right.
The man is doing an outstanding job. On the other side of the field, the Denver Broncos have to be searching a little bit, wondering what they can do to stop this Houston Oilers offense.
Drew Hill said, I want to go away on my terms and not when somebody else tells me. Here's Montgomery from the 6 to the 20 to the 30. He returns to the 35-yard line where Darrell Lewis makes the tackle.
The Denver Broncos came with a corner blitz on both sides, but see here at the top of your screen, Lilo Lang is going to come and Lorenzo White is going to pick him up. Now Dennis Smith has to come up and take it, and the normal blitz route is an out. Watch when Dennis Smith takes a look. He's going to guess on the out route, but Drew Hill is going to run a post, and as a result, Dennis Smith is a dead duck.
First down, Denver. And the pitch to Gaston Green. Green has the first down. He'll pick up 12 yards on the play.
It might indicate a little desperation on the part of the Broncos. They come with 2 corner blitzes over here. Lang, and from the other side, you're going to see Atwater, but he gets picked up. Houston Oilers are doing not only a marvelous job of running pass routes, but in their blitz pickups as well. Give a lot of credit to the likes of Maggs and Williams, the tackles for the Houston Oilers.
First down, Denver, their own 47-yard line. Houston leads at 14-0. Just under 4.5 minutes to go. We're in the first quarter. And again, it is Gaston Green. When we talked to him yesterday, I asked him, what was your strength? He said, I like to run over people.
Yeah,
he started laughing.
At 192 pounds. Who's he kidding? Great tackle there by Richard Johnson from the cornerback position. Take a look at the numbers compiled in his career up to 1991. He was pretty much of a forgotten man for the Los Angeles Rams. John Robinson feeling like that he could not go through an entire season. And as you mentioned when we talked with him, the big satisfaction out of this year was not the 1,000 yards, not the Pro Bowl, but to prove that he belonged in this league.
Interesting. Wasn't Drew Hill a forgotten man from the Rams organization?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Elway to the tight end, Clarence Tay, close to the first down. First time that the Bronco offense has been on track to the ball game. Marcus Robertson with the tackle.
Give a lot of credit here to John Elway in his play calling. They're down 14-0, and easily he could panic and start throwing every down and going downfield. But he realizes there's a lot of time left in the game. The fake counter boot, he comes out to the right, gets the ball to Clarence Kay, who's not exactly the best pass catcher in the world, but John Elway wants to utilize everybody at his disposal.
And remember, he told us yesterday that he likes to script the first 10 or 12 plays and then kind of go from there. And just about half an inch from the first down. And he said this man, Dan Reeves, in reality, because of the changes that they have in their offense of what they're going to do against Houston, and because of the players that have to come in for the formation, will probably go back to calling more of the plays than John Elway. Third down and an inch. Elway to quarterback sneak, and he does as he just kind of surges over the left side. He's going to look for an opening over the flags. They're down underneath. Now we're going to have some major league pushing and shoving.
Well, the last couple of plays, I've noticed that some people have been jumping on the pile. In particular, I noticed that I believe it was one of the Waddell brothers who was jumping on top of the pile at the end, and that's creating some of the arguments.
79 defense. First down.
That's on Ray Childress. Bad back, bad ribs and all. And he does not agree with it. Meanwhile, Lamar Lathan is saying his teammate, you can't do this in these kind of games. He pushes him away.
That's going to be very hard to see this in the middle there, but right there at the end, there's Waddell on top of him. He hits him in the face first, and then Childress grabs the face mask. Inevitably, it's the second guy that gets caught.
And Houston has a timeout. We'll step aside for a moment.
Heads up by Jack Pardee to call that timeout. The Houston Oilers defense had lost a little bit of composure, and the Denver Broncos were driving. That's the experience of a man who has been coach of the year in 4 different leagues.
Gaston Green is the ball carrier. A gain of 4 to the 32. It will be second down and 6. And when you factor in that 4, Houston now total yardage 140. Another flag is down.
Now that's Richard Johnson. That was really foolish. This is the very reason that they called a timeout. Now you can see Jack Pardee on the sideline screaming at these people to say, you can't do this. Right in front of the official, Richard Johnson pushes the rookie, Derek Russell. You can't throw the arm in front of the official's face. Of course he's going to call that.
Personal foul. 23 defense. First down.
Then after he makes the call, Richard Johnson starts pointing at the official, and he actually pushed him in the shoulder. Johnson's got to be careful because that could have been something he could have got thrown out of the game for.
Denver's play selection thus far, 6 runs, 1 pass. Oh, that's amazing. And here's the 7th run. Gaston Green. Why is Denver not throwing the ball more?
I tell you what, never mind that. Officials are having every play now for the last 5. They've had to step in between people. Now they have to get this thing under control right here so it's a football game and not a slugfest. And you got to give a little credit to the rookie Derek Russell for inciting a veteran like Johnson to do something that foolish. Vance Johnson told us yesterday that there was going to be some trash talking, and that's exactly what's occurred here.
Major trash. Well, the officials hold their cameras. Back to my question, why is Denver running and not throwing?
Oh, I think that they're trying to get their bearings.
Game clock to 2:35. 2:35.
So we'll reset the game clock that was down to 2:21 back to 2:35.
In answer to your question, Charlie, I think that one of the things they don't want to do here is, first of all, they want to get Gaston Green involved in the game. They know that the front four of the Houston Oilers can pin their ears back and come. And if they don't establish a running game early, if it becomes a situation where they have like a 3-to-1 pass to run situation, then the front four of the Houston Oilers is going to wear down the offensive line of the Broncos.
Gaston Green 5 carries, 18 yards, and Steve Sewell is now back with him. Second and 10. 2 yards on the draw. Gaston Green to the 15. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Be sure to be with us here on NBC tomorrow. We will start it all with NFL Live, and OJ will have a feature on Bruce Smith. And that, of course, to set up the big game tomorrow, the AFC divisional playoff between Kansas City and Buffalo. And we understand the weather in Buffalo is nice, but cold.
I'll be interested to see what the 2-week layoff after a loss has done to the Buffalo Bills. The Kansas City Chiefs are on a roll.
3rd down and 8, 15-yard line. Denver with 4 wide receivers. Flags are down. Elway to the 11-yard line. But there are markers on both sides of the field.
Charlie, Lamar Lathan was offsides, and the thing that's foolish about that is Lamar Lathan was not even in the blitz. Lamar Lathan is trying to draw Ken Lanier offsides, but Ken Lanier is a veteran player. He jumps up and then comes back into coverage. And in being so foolish, he jumps offsides, and that's really a mental error on the part of Lamar Lathan.
57, defense. Still 4 down.
The penalty takes the ball to the 10.
Watch there in the middle of your screen. Watch 57. Now he comes back. He's not really rushing. See, he has the coverage. He's not rushing at all. He's just trying to draw Lanier off sides. And unfortunately for him, that enables the Denver Broncos to get a free play.
That is the 6th penalty against Houston in the first quarter. 3rd down and 3. Houston cleaning up their act this year over the past with fewer penalties. We can't tell it today. Touchdown, Vance Johnson. Treadwell with the point after attempt. Bad snap high. Kubiak could not get it down. It is no good off to the left. It was a bad snap from Dave Wydell.
One of the things to make a point here is that Dave Wydell is starting for Keith Cards. This is not a normal situation where he just comes in to snap. He has been playing. So take a look at his hands. His hands are still padded up. And as a result of his hands being padded up, he doesn't get the snap that he wants. The laces are towards Treadwell. He hooks it left.
And so with 1 minute and 17 seconds left in the first quarter, it is Houston 14, Denver 6 as we go back to the touchdown.
Well, Vance Johnson said that he was going to have some special plays today, and he was going to do some magic things on 3rd down, and he said he flat out wanted Chris Dishman. Well, he got him. Man-for-man coverage. He comes in on the slant. Dishman too far behind. A little bit of funk at the end. Touchdown, Denver Broncos.
And Vance did point out to us that he has been the Broncos' leading receiver over the last 5 games of the regular season. And he was very proud of that fact. And wanted us to mention.
One of the things that the Houston Oilers wanted to do, and he's got a normal haircut for a change. I find that interesting. Doing some painting, he told us, very happy with himself now. He admitted to us, I thought interesting, that he had taken some therapy.
Yes, and said he's very happy with his home life. That has made all of the difference in the world. Treadwell kicks out. Pickett is the return man to the 15. And down at the 20-yard line by Lilo Lang.
Right here you can see Vance Johnson over here is going to make a... Right here you're going to see Vance Johnson in the backfield is going to make a corner move on Dishman and then come back to the inside. Dishman bites on the corner move, and Vance Johnson able to cut inside for the 6.
Warren Moon, in the first 10 minutes of the ball game, completed 7 of 9 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Third offensive possession for Houston from their own 20. Outside blitz pressure, pass is complete to Curtis Duncan near the 30-yard line. Charles Dimry was there. That is the Bronco that they have been picking on and will continue to pick on. They find him wherever he is.
Well, Curtis Duncan is actually somewhat of the forgotten of the Fab Four. He was the only one that did not catch at least 70 passes, but that's a nice out route he has right there. And as you mentioned, Dimry and Lang are the people that they're going to pick on today.
Second down, about half a yard to go for the first down. 30 seconds left in the first period. Lorenzo White will pick up the first down as he goes to the 33-yard line.
Let me tell you, the running game can be incredibly effective when you keep coming up 2nd and 2 and 3rd and 1. And thus far, that's all Lorenzo White has had to do is 2nd and 2s and 3rd and 1s. And those are easy first downs.
And the quarterbacks love to call that play.
Yeah.
So we'll take the countdown to the end of the first quarter to make it official. Houston 14, Denver 6. Back with the second period in a moment.